Okay, hi everyone. I have Randy with us from Nautic Nomad. Hi, Randy.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Pleasure. So today we're doing a podcast, well, a vlog on entrepreneurs in the industry. So Randi was working in the industry and has now started her own business called Nautic Nomad. And I know a lot of you are perhaps thinking about what am I going to do next post yachting. And this is why we have invited some fabulous entrepreneurs on our vlog to speak about their experience of starting a business and what it entails. So, Randy, maybe if you can give us a little bit of background into how you started your first business. And I believe it was not as you had planned with in terms of your exit strategy.
Yeah, so I actually was applying for my green card because I'm Canadian, my husband's American, and I wasn't able to leave the States. So I did kind of plan, to go sort of land-based or work on a Fort Lauderdale-based yacht. I knew that we were going to be putting down roots here, and wanted the time also to be able to work on our side hustles. We actually started Nautic Nomad when we were in the Turks and Caicos. We were based there, and that's why I couldn't go with my boat because it was always there, and I had to stay in the States while my green card was pending. Um, so when we got to Turks and Caicos, we found that it was kind of difficult to find the information, particularly that yachties need that are geared towards yachts. And, you don't always have a lot of time and you have to get it right the first time. So we wanted to kind of create this database where we could collect and also have it updated organically, like through people, like be crowdsourced information that's specifically for yachts. So that's how Nautic Nomad came to fruition. And yeah, just be able to pass that information on to the next generation.
Brilliant. And so, with your experience in yachting, what do you think? What skills did you learn from yachting that you applied in your own business?
Hard work, attention to detail, those are definitely two things. I feel like no back-to-back charter could ever hold a candle to running your own business, especially when you first get started. A lot of the things that helped me was doing the finances on board the boat, obviously, banking, stuff like that. Um, an endurance mindset, it was really helpful. Like that's something that I got from yachting. And then also dealing with budgets, interpersonal interactions with vendors, owners, guests, and then also seeing how the 1% of the 1% of the world's wealthiest people manage their time, their energy, their emails,
Hmm.
everything like that. It kind of gave me like a really good insight into the business world.
So I'm interested in that. So with the wealthiest people and how they manage their time and their daily activities, what did you take away from how they were able to conduct business?
Well, so a lot of the owners that I worked for, they did work a lot. They worked almost all the time. Like even when they're on vacation, they still have to work like a little bit. And just seeing that they're still so engaged in their businesses, even though they're super wealthy and they're very, like a lot of them have PAs that handle the nitty gritty stuff, or they've got people that run the day to day of their business. They're still so passionate about their business that they love it and they do it. Like my one boss would wake up at 7 a.m. in Miami and drive to North Miami to go and actually be at his office, even though he didn't have to. I was like, this guy owns a yacht. Like he doesn't have to do that, but he did it because he loved it. And that was really cool to see as well. But I think dealing with things, one of my old owners always had a saying whenever we made decisions with the yacht, which really helped. He would always say, what's the wise thing to do in this situation? And he would always ask us that question. We would say, what would you like to do? And he would say, well, what's the wise thing to do here? Just taking that time to ponder things, but also dealing with them when they come up.
Mm. That's so
Yeah.
interesting because in well, in psychoeducation we talk about the wise mind, and it's a balance between your rational mind and also your emotional mind, and it's the mind, like it's both joined together, but it's that sweet spot in the middle that makes up the wise mind. So yeah, it's interesting that you say that.
That's awesome.
um,
Yeah, it's nice too to take a pause and think about that. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. And also what you mentioned, passion. I think passion is key. Like not to think about the money first, but do something because you have a love for it. And I feel like the money will come like after that. And it's about, being authentic in your day-to-day activities.
Yeah. A girl I follow who's a great entrepreneur, she's the author of the 5 Second Rule, Mel Robbins. She's fantastic. And she says, you have to do what you love, start a business doing what you love, because you'll figure out how to get the money. You'll figure out how to make the money happen. But once you figure out the money and that rush is over, you still got to do it every day. So you got to make sure you're doing something that you love. And, I couldn't think of anything better than traveling to new places where yachts go and reviewing places and checking them out and figuring out the best of the best and helping other people come along on that journey too. So I was like, something where you can travel and something that you like doing.
100%. And so yachting can be quite isolating. And I feel like when you're in the industry, it almost becomes like a vacuum where yachting, you live, you breathe, you eat yachting. So in terms of advancing your skills while on board, do you think there would have been anything that would have helped you or supported you in starting your business or thinking about how to upskill post yachting?
Yeah, definitely something that I just found, which is incredible, and I wish I would have done it much sooner, but it wasn't around actually. They've just gone online. Is Startup School with Y Combinator in San Francisco, just because we are like a technology company. It's really great for like those kind of things, and they also help businesses. Um, they help like foreigners figure out how to incorporate their businesses in the United States, to work with Stripe for accepting payments, and they deal with helping people figure out who your co-founders should be. Like, so that is all stuff that's very important to think about. And then also coding. I wish that I would have started coding when I was in yachting, because even if I started 3 years ago, I'd still be able to do 100% of my business now without having to outsource anything. So coding is an amazing thing.
There's so much to learn. It can be quite overwhelming too. Um,
Yeah.
so in terms of Nautic Nomad and its vision, can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so we just really want to help people. We like helping people, but so Nautic Nomad helps get people the information that they need, and we also have a heart for digitizing the yachting industry. I feel like there's a lot of systems and processes that could be really helped with technology, and we're kind of starting to see it now in the industry. But as far as like in the tech world goes, the yachting industry is like way far behind. Like, when you look at some of the websites that are out there, even some of the systems and processes internally that businesses have to do, like I really have a big heart for that, for not having, pieces of the industry fall behind, because of lack of technology and the ease that it provides.
Yeah, that's great. And before we part, if you can share 3 tips for crew that are wanting to start their own businesses, what would that be?
I would say be prepared to work very hard, very hard. Make sure that your business, first and foremost, solves your consumers' pain points or their problems. Do your market research first. Talk to your ideal customers. Like, who do you want to serve? Who do you like working with? Like, who do you want to have to deal with every day? And then, if you can, put out a minimum viable product and use that to pivot. So, put out something, even if it's just a landing page, and see how people interact with that, and work with the feedback, and don't expect to be an overnight sensation. There's no such thing. It's going to take a lot of work.
Yeah, a lot. And you're right about the endurance mindset. It's all about hustling, but then also having that tenacity to push through the challenging times. And we had a bit of a laugh before, and I think sometimes that red wine can be quite welcomed at the best of times.
Yeah. Yeah, because when you're going all the time, you're just overwhelmed, because when you're an entrepreneur, you're doing everything. You're wearing all the hats, you're doing the business, you're doing the PR, you're doing everything. You have to shut off. And when you go to sleep at night, sometimes it's hard to do that. So having a glass of wine once in a while to shut off is nice.
Well, thanks so much for your time, Randy.
Pleasure. Thank you so much.